I'm starting another traveler's notebook. This may not come as a surprise to you if you've ever used these notebooks, because from what I hear, they're pretty addictive and it's hard to just have one. So a couple months ago, I made a video kind of introducing my setup for this traveler's notebook, which is the regular size. It's a Webster's Pages cover. I love this. A lot of people have been asking me to do flip throughs or to show you what I've been doing in here. And one of the things that I really love about having this notebook is that it's kind of a place where I can create with no pressure to share it with the internet. A lot of the other creative things that I do, I share with all of you immediately. And so it's nice to have something that I don't have to worry about it looking perfect all the time. But whenever I end up with a page or a spread that I really like in this notebook, I post it on my Instagram. So you can go follow me at LaurenFairWX over there if you'd like to see what I end up putting in this notebook. So one thing that I've noticed carrying around a regular size traveler's notebook is that it is definitely too big to carry around on a daily basis. It was kind of hard for me to tell how big it actually was from the internet. I enjoy using it at home, and I do take it when I travel because I already have a bigger bag for traveling. But the more I used this notebook, the more I realized that it does really make sense to have a second version that's smaller that I could take with me more often. One of the reasons why I bought this in the first place was so I could always have a way to write down ideas that I get, or if I'm feeling creative and I just want to draw, or if my kid says something funny and I want to write it down. It's nice to have these notebooks with you, but this really is too big for day-to-day use, at least outside of the house. Another reason why I wanted to get a second smaller traveler's notebook is that I have started bullet journaling. I've tried it off and on for the last 2 years or so, and finally I found a system and a format that I think really works well for me. The problem that I found with my different attempts at bullet journaling was that the notebooks were too big. So I thought maybe if I had a really tiny pocket-sized bullet journal, it would be easier to carry around with me, and so I made this tiny little bullet journal. I actually made it the exact dimensions of a Traveler's Co. passport size, which is the size that I was kind of considering for a second traveler's notebook. And so I just made this with supplies I had around, printer paper, my sewing machine, some scrapbook paper, and I've been going with really simple layouts, and I'm really enjoying it, and that's the longest I've gone with a bullet journal so far. So I really like having it small like this. If you want to learn how to make one of these, I did a little DIY tutorial showing you how I made it. So if you're considering getting a traveler's notebook, or even if you just don't want to spend money on stationery, this is a really good way to test that out. So I made this with the thought that if I liked the size, I would eventually get a traveler's notebook cover for it, and then some other inserts that I could pair with it as well. And so the more I write in this, the more excited I get about that idea. And so you might remember in the video where I started this traveler's notebook, I talked to JetPens, and they sent me a bunch of supplies for my traveler's notebook. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how well that video did, because it was really just me rambling about stationery, because I'm a total dork and that's what I do. And so it turns out they wanted to do it again, and they just started stocking some Chic Sparrow traveler's notebook covers. I had heard of Chic Sparrow, but I had never seen one of their covers in person, so I was really excited that they offered to send me some of these. So JetPens sent me another box of goodies, and I'm so excited. This is really fun for me. I love this kind of thing. So the first thing, and what I was looking forward to the most, is the Chic Sparrow cover. It comes in a nice little box, and the cover itself is in a little bag. I am so into packaging and branding, and they put their tag on the bag, which I think is wonderful. Oh, it's so cute. So I picked this bright green color, and I believe it's called Fern. Oh, it's so soft and nice. It has white elastic cords, and there are actually 4 elastics in here to hold different refills. And the original Traveler's Co. covers only have 2 of these elastics. You can expand it using more elastics, but I think it's great that it comes with 4 to begin with. Now the Chic Sparrow covers that JetPens carries are actually slightly bigger than passport size, but I thought it would be okay anyway. It's a little bit taller and a tiny bit wider, but I think it's gonna actually be perfect. And because I opted to get this one, which is a little bit bigger than the Traveler's Co. ones, I can actually fit more kinds of refills from different companies in here, which I think is pretty great. I like having the versatility. One reason why this is good is that Traveler's Co., as far as I know, doesn't make dot grid pages, which is what I've been using for bullet journaling, so it's very helpful to me that I can get a field notes book or something like that to put into this cover. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and put my bullet journal in this first elastic because I know I'm gonna be using this. And if you're unfamiliar with traveler's notebooks and how they work, it's really simple. You just open whatever refill or notebook you wanna put in it, and then you slide it under one of the elastics and it holds it in place, which I think is so clever because you can be carrying a few different notebooks for different purposes and just close them in this cover. And then the elastic just fits over the whole thing and holds it shut. Oh, it's so nice. I love this. Here's a quick size comparison of the little Chic Sparrow versus the big regular size Webster's Pages traveler's notebook. It's a little bigger than half the size. Well, what's up next here? I'm really happy. Okay, so the next thing they sent me is this Travelers Co. passport size zipper case. So basically this is something that you can put around one of the inserts inside the cover to help you be able to carry more stuff with your notebook. So on one side there's a little zipper pouch, which I can put stickers and all sorts of fun stuff. And then on the back side there is a big pocket here that's just kind of open, and then two little card-sized pockets. This is especially helpful because this case itself doesn't have any pockets in it. It's just blank on the inside. So if I wanted to, I could just wrap this around the insert like this, and then that would give me a place to put things. This is another passport size Travelers Co. insert, and I actually have been really wanting to try these out. This is their lightweight paper version, and I've heard that this stuff is really nice to write on, but the thing that I really love about it is that it's so compact. The pages are super thin, but I've also heard that they hold ink really well, so you can use these with fountain pens and things like that. I'm really excited to test this out. This is exactly what I had imagined for just a place to jot down notes and ideas when I'm out and about, just because it is so thin and so small. Everyone I've heard from who uses this paper is absolutely in love with it. It's the same paper that comes in the Hobonichi planners, and it feels really nice. It's a little bit see-through. I am excited to try it out. There we go. All right, well, I'm pretty happy with that. So the next thing I got are a little set of dot grid notebooks that will fit in here. These are from a company called Word. This is my first experience with them, but they're dot grid pages, and that's what I wanted. I figured that once I filled up the homemade bullet journal that I made, it would be nice to have some professionally made ones ready for backup. This little pack comes with 3 of them, which is nice because I've been filling up that first bullet journal pretty quickly. This is really cool. The inside cover of these notebooks has a place for your name, some notes, the year and the month that you filled it out, and then a place to contact you if you lose it. So that's pretty nice. They even have a little ruler on the back cover, which I think is really smart. You can tell they put a lot of thought into these, and I really like it. Now these are the notebooks that more properly fit into this size cover, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to opt for the bigger cover. It's nice to have these as an option. They're not that much bigger. I don't think it would really feel that weird to have 2 different sized notebooks in here. I guess I'll find out when I'm using it. The paper feels nice, better than the printer paper that I used for my homemade refill for sure. Okay, so the next thing, I'm also really excited. They sent me some slim washi tape, and I have a lot of washi tape. I'm one of those people who just buys it and then forgets to use it, and I know it expires and it stops being sticky after a while, which is really sad. I need to train myself to use more of it. One kind of washi tape that I don't have are the really thin ones, and I thought for a notebook this tiny, it would be better to have the thin washi tape so there's more room on the page. This is also MT brand washi tape, which I had heard was the best, but I have never tried it myself, and I had been meaning to. And it came with 3 different patterns and colors that kind of coordinate with each other, which helps me out because I don't have to think about trying to match them. I think these will do really well with little borders and things like that in my bullet journal. And of course, because it's JetPens, they sent me a bunch of pens to try out, which I'm very excited for. So the last time we spoke, I was exclusively using Pilot G2 gel pens, the really thin black ones, for my bullet journal and for any time I needed to write in a notebook. They were my favorite. I think they may have converted me a little bit. They sent me some Uniball Signo pens, the .38 gel pens, and I think I like this better. I feel like a lot of people online recommend these and swear by them, and I never tried them, so I'm really happy that JetPens sent me one. Actually, when this package arrived, this was the only thing I let myself take out of the package before I had a chance to film this video because I wanted a chance to use it and let you know how it works. So I think I'm switching for good to the Uniball Signo. I think my writing just looks neater. They both have the .38 ultrafine tip, but this just looks nicer. It looks cleaner. I don't know how long they last compared to the Pilot G2 because I have not completely emptied one yet, but I think it looks much better, and I can tell in my book when I switch to this, so I'm gonna keep at it with these, I think. So they sent me the black one, also a kind of dark navy blue, and then the burgundy purple red color, and I really like them. It's definitely improved my experience of writing in a book that's so tiny. I feel like you need a really fine tip to write in a book this small, especially because I'm listing all kinds of to-dos and things like that, and I want to make sure I have plenty of space to write in here. Because I've been so into writing with these really, really fine black gel pens. They also sent me a few more brands that I'm gonna test out. So this one is the Zebra Sarasa. It's a 0.3 tip. There's also the Pilot Juice 0.38. I've heard good things about these as well. And then the Pilot Juice Up, which I probably should look up the difference between the Juice and the Juice Up. I'm gonna assume this is like a fancier version of this one. So there's the Signo, which I'm newly obsessed with, and then the Sarasa actually looks a bit thinner, but a little bit lighter. The black is a little lighter than the Uniball Signo. So the Juice Ups has a nicer kind of construction compared to the Juice pen, but I feel like the ink is a little bit lighter and maybe even thicker than the Juice, and then it also feels a lot smoother to write with the Juice Up. That was my kind of immediate reaction to all of those, in case you're wondering like which is which or which to get. I think the Uniball Signo is still my favorite, but who knows. It's nice that I have all of these options, and I'll get to know them a little bit better. I feel like everybody has different preferences when it comes to pens, and apparently the Juice Up comes in a lot of really nice colors, which is really awesome. They sent me a bunch of them, 4 different colors. There's a pink, a purple, an orange, and this cool like teal green. So that's pretty exciting. I don't have very many colored pens, and I've been going very simple with my layouts so far, but mostly because that's all I had to work with. So I'm really happy with all of these, and I'm excited to get to know them a bit more. And then I had also heard really good things about the Zebra Mild Liners. These are highlighters that I feel like everybody on Instagram that I follow is obsessed with. So I bought this pack, it's the blue one, and I've been using these and I am obsessed with them. They are really nice. People always say that they didn't smudge, but they were smudging with the Pilot G2s whenever I would use them right away. So I've been kind of like letting the pen dry before I use them. But the cool thing about these highlighters is that they have 2 tips on them. So there's like the normal chisel tip that you would use to just highlight a little bit of text. And then on the back side, there is a fine tip with the same ink, and I actually use the fine tip a lot more. I've been using it to color stuff in, and I really like these. I also adore the colors that came in this pack. And so I mentioned that I really liked these and asked if they had any more that I should try. And so they were nice enough to send me 2 colors that I didn't already have. There's this yellow, which is a much nicer, milder version of the fluorescent highlighter yellow that you see. And also this nice little light blue, which is bluer and less purple than the blue that came in the blue pack. I also did not know what this is, and I had to look it up in order to figure it out, but this is another Zebra highlighter, but it is a glitter highlighter, and I have not tried this yet, so I'm gonna see what it looks like. Oh my gosh. So this is what I would describe as a fluorescent yellow, kind of the classic highlighter color, but it is full of like really, really fine glitter, and it's very shimmery and really fun. Oh my gosh. So that is everything in my little JetPens haul. I'm so excited to start using this cover. I feel like this is a weird thing to say, but I'm just really happy that my little handmade bullet journal that I've been loving so much has a little jacket now and some friends. Thanks for coming over and hearing me nerd out about all of this stationery and all these pens. I feel like my life got a little better after I found Traveler's Notebooks. They just make me happy, you know? I feel like you should let yourself get excited about the little things, even if other people don't understand it. If you get really excited about bullet journals and stationery and Traveler's Notebooks, I would love to hear what your favorite products are in the comments below. I'm always looking out for new stuff like this. It's just one of those things that I get so excited about. And if you liked this video, maybe give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love if you would subscribe and stick around and see what I make next. I hope you're having a really good day. Thanks again to JetPens for feeding my stationery addiction. If you want to check out any of these things that I mentioned in this video, read the video description below and I will have links to all of these products. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.